2023. Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Kent? Mrs. Beavers? Here. Mr. Sampson?
Here.
We'll do our introduction right now. We have Mr. Jim Henshaw. He is our director of the Senior Center. We have Todd Schaefer. He's our park superintendent. Mr. Andy Frost is our fire chief. He's not here right now. Our police chief, Bob Gavalier. He's going to be late. We have our zoning inspector, Darren Cavelli. We have our township administrator, road superintendent, Mike Dockery. We have our fiscal officer, Lori Wolf. Off to my right, Steve Kent is absent. He's our trustee. And our trustee, Robert Santos. And I'm trustee, Monica Devers. I need a motion to approve minutes of the regular and reorganization meeting of January 9th, 2023.
Sorry, yours is different than mine, I apologize. Can we have a motion to table that? Teresa was unable to provide me with the updated minutes from the last meeting, and I prefer not to go on anything until I actually had a chance to read it.
Okay. Okay. Mike, you have an administrative report for us?
Just a comment on under the road department and cemetery. You got a motion to amend the cemetery rules. The last time the rules were amended was 1992. Bill and I took a look at those rules. Also took a look at some of the rules of some of the private cemeteries. And we are recommending some changes to you. We're trying to, it seems like the other cemeteries try to keep things, I would use it simple. So we are recommending to amend the rules to just allow real and artificial flowers that are in cemetery vases. We're also, you no longer can plant flowers or any other type of vegetation. We are going to allow, I'll call them decorations, at Christmas time from December 1st through February 1st, and then for Easter, Mother and Father's Day, July 4th and November 11th. You can also put appropriate decorations from the week before to the week after the holiday. One of the things that was in the old rules that we haven't enforced, that we're going to start to enforce, because this is one of the places where things, we think, in a cemetery that's supposed to be, I don't know the appropriate word to use, but it's gotten a little bit out of hand with some of the curbing that's been put in and some of the things inside that curbing. So we're going to start to enforce that. That's always been part of the rules, and I think for the last few years we haven't enforced it very well. So those are the changes that we're recommending.
So pretty much it's going to be like the other cemeteries. We're just going to try and clean it up to make it look a little bit more presentable.
Exactly. If you look at the other cemeteries, it's grass all around the headstones. Flowers are in a cemetery vase, either attached to the stone or right next to the stone. And of course, one of the things I didn't mention is the veterans are free to put up their flags. And what we're going to do this year, after they put up the flags for the first time, we've made our own, or going to make our own metal protections, let's just call it, or conduit. We're buying some conduit, 2 foot. We'll put it about 1 foot in the ground, and then we're going to put the flags in the conduit. This way, we'll prevent from breaking the flags with the weed whackers. And, you know, the color will be very similar it'll be a grayish color, very similar to the headstones, so it'll look nice.
So we're gonna do a motion to amend the cemetery rules as per attached.
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Devers?
Yes.
Mr. Sampson?
Yes.
Yes. At this time, we'll skip the police department, maybe he'll be here in a little bit, and we'll go with Andy Frost, our fire department chief.
First of all, I apologize for being late. We had a kitchen fire that we were on, so.
Absolutely more important.
And
Everybody
with that
okay?
said, everything is on my desk to bring tonight. So, I don't have, basically, I have the report done, so I'll submit that to you guys. Just basically our numbers and all, and I was gonna present those tonight, but I just don't have it with me. So, other than that, I don't think there's anything to report.
Is everybody okay for fire?
Doing well, yes, thank you.
Darren?
I'd ask the board to approve a nuisance resolution on Ohio Revised Code 505.87 at Clear 5360 West Rockwell Road, a nuisance for a large tree that fell within the rear yard. You probably don't recall, but you guys did declare this property a nuisance at the end of September, and the road department went over and we cut the grass and cleaned up some stuff. I had a couple contractors look at the tree, this thing as you noticed, it fell on the house. And the property owner came out and told one of the contractors that it's insured, but his insurance company was busy with the work in Florida, and that they would be up here, they would assess it, and then he'd have it removed. That was 3 months ago. So I'm not gonna go out there right away, but we'll give him some more time, but I'm starting to think that maybe that may not be accurate, what he said. But if he doesn't remove it, the township will remove it. I would prefer that he remove it. I also sent an email to the building inspections department and asked them to go out and do a structural inspection. Like I said, this thing fell in the back of the house, and the neighbor told me they have a couple of small children living in the house. So,
That's it.
that's it.
Motion to determine the tax list of properties to constitute a public nuisance pursuant to ORC 50587.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Sampson?
Yes.
Mrs. Devers?
Yes.
That's it.
Our park department.
Well, I sent out the sponsor letters this morning for our concerts this summer. And later this week, I'll start booking the bands. With that in mind, I wanted to ask the board, September, the last 2 years, we've extended our concerts through the month of September. The sun goes down a lot earlier by that point, plus we have a time change coming. And halfway through the concert, we were having a lot of people leaving because it was getting too dark. So for the month of September, which will be the 5th, 12th, 19th, and the 26th, I would like to move the concerts from 7 o'clock to 6 o'clock and have them from 6 to 7:30. That way we still have plenty of daylight for the bands and the residents that go to the concert. So I wanted to get the okay from the board to do that. Now the rest of the June, July, August, we'll do our regular 7 to 8:30.
So it doesn't get dark from them days till about 8:30, so people stay longer?
Yes, yeah, they stay June, July, and August, they're there the whole time. But September, especially the last 2 concerts in September, it's really getting bad, so I just wanted to move the whole month to 6 o'clock, and I'm sure I can find 4 bands, so that will do that time frame.
But that doesn't require a motion, it's just.
I just wanted to get the okay from the board.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, you've been doing this for how long? So, I mean, we definitely trust you, but something like that does not require a motion, but yeah, definitely, thank you for letting us know and using your best judgment.
All right,
Thank you for bringing it
And,
up.
Christmas tree drop-off, we're doing for another 8 or 9 days. January 31st would be the last day we take the live trees out at the park for ODNR to take out 2 local ponds and lakes for the fish habitat. And then I submitted my year-end report for 2022. I don't know if you guys have received it yet, but I submitted that last week. And I'll have inventory done by next meeting, and then we'll be done with 2022 at that point. That's all I have.
Thank you. Mr. Jim Henshaw, Senior Center, what do you have for us?
Oh, we
We've been a busy little place, getting busier and busier. I keep saying that every week, and every week it gets busier and busier. First off, I'd like to thank the Parks Department. They take care of our parking lot, and I get there usually around 7 o'clock in the morning, and they're usually already there and just about finishing up by the time I get there. They salt our walkways into the senior center and make sure it's safe for people to walk, and they get the lots plowed. This was the first snow they ever really had to do anything with, but they were there. And sometimes I wish they'd come a little later because I have a coffee made by the time they leave. So I can always stop and get a warm cup of coffee, but haven't done that. I'd also like to thank the Austintown Police Department. We had our first gun safety course last week. Detective Ryan Reese came over. We had 14 people there, and he was phenomenal. They really liked him. They showed everything they needed to do, what have you. And next week we'll be actually doing some target shooting with airsoft at the senior center to give them a feel for how to handle different kind of weapons and things of that nature. So that's gone over very, very well. A couple areas in the senior center that have been growing faster than anything else is our card playing people. When more and more people are coming to play cards, I'm a little worried that maybe, we might give them the casino a run for their money, but they only play for dimes, so I guess it's not too bad. But they have been growing we have starting up Pinnacle Group, we have Bridge, we have a bunch of people now playing different board games on a regular basis and things like that. So, and I don't know how many new people we get in a week now, Linda.
20? Easy.
Yeah. So like I say, if the word's out there, we're doing all kinds of nice stuff, and that's what we're here for.
Thank you. Our fiscal officer, Lori Wolf.
Hi, I don't have anything to add to the agenda.
I have a motion to approve December's report submitted to the board at the January 9, 2023 meeting. A through E per agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Deaver?
Yes.
Mr. Sanchez?
Yes.
The new business, I have a motion to approve advances from the general fund for $350,000 to the police.
So moved.
And a second.
Mrs. Deaver?
Yes.
Mr. Sanchez?
Yes.
A motion to increase appropriations for $20,000 to $70,000 in the cemetery fund.
You explain that, Mike?
Yeah, Teresa came to me and we needed to move money around line items because we didn't have enough money, and so at the time I just told her that there was, based on the cash that we carried over from last year, I said, Teresa, let's put on the agenda to increase the appropriations to $70,000. We'll get additional revenue even in this year. We'll probably end up maybe with an appropriation of $90,000 to $100,000 at the end of the year, but we know we have this cash. Let's just get it appropriated so you have enough money in line items. You don't need to be coming to me, that's all.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Sanchez?
Yes.
Mrs. Deaver?
Yes. Motion to approve the purchase of 6 movie license for Austintown Summer Movie Night totaling no more than $3,000 to be paid from Westchester Fund.
Moved.
Before I would like to talk about it.
Second it to put it on the table so we can discuss it. It's not
Okay,
seconded.
well, thank you. Thank you, I appreciate that. Second.
Would you like me to explain? So, as everyone knows, we had the movies were approved last year, and we were paying them individually. Which last year, the fees for the movie licenses was like $485, $465, and they have increased. But they did, say the name right without my accent messing up. It actually, believe it or not, it is called Swank Productions. That him, which owns Disney, they got all the movies. So that's the production company that we would actually get the movies from. Some artists, some other production companies, depends on what movie you want and you go for. But they got a majority of the movies that are ideal for a movie night. They say there is a bulk pricing, that if we purchase them all at once, we will be able to get a cheaper rate. Last year, we actually found donors, and we were funding them all individually. I feel that if we take the Westchester funds, which is used primarily for this event, we can do that. If you guys don't know, I reiterate, the Westchester funds can't be used to fill a pothole. They can't use to be paid someone's paycheck, so that's what these funds are here for. And then by us going ahead and doing that, we can lock in what movies we want, get the license at a cheaper price. So instead of going to a business owner asking for like a $500 donation, we're asking for $300 or $380, depending on what that actually movie costs. Now, the reason why I asked to approve for $3,000 is because the movies, depending on what movie we're requesting, they range from $400 to $500. So we don't really know what movie. Well, Spider-Man could be $500, but what's that movie with the lady? Another movie, whatever it is, could be like $400. So we don't know what movie we're going to do on the 3rd. We don't know what movie we're doing on the 5th. So we can go ahead and approve this. We can research what movies we would like to see play, and then we can go ahead and start getting donors from there. And the reason why I said 6, I would love to see 2 a month. I would like to have one that is extremely child-oriented, obviously, rated G or even low PG, but I would also love to see something more for the adults, like maybe a Die Hard movie or, The Godfather, who knows, something like that we can incorporate where individuals our age can take our significant others, go out there and have a good time so we're not stuck at home. If we decide not to do 6, a Tuesday and Thursday, I'm all about it. I just want to make sure we locked on at least 2 times a month and make sure it's consistent.
I just wanted to know about what he expected from it. So my concern is I love having this for the children. I think it's a great idea. My concern in the summer, he has a certain dates picked, June, July, and August already. It doesn't get dark until like 8:30, 9 o'clock. That's where my concern is. Are we going to get enough people there? Do we need to have 6 movies put aside right now? September it gets a little bit darker. He already had like the movies 2 on, I would like for us to only have 1 and see how it goes. 1 in June, 1 in July, 1 in August. So, not that I am against it, I'm against how late it would be in the summer for our children. For our children, what's that?
I mean, we just don't have it in the summer, I mean.
Yeah, I know, but.
I can't control the sun.
No, I know, but I don't want to argue about this. I think it's great for.
No, I get what you're saying, I really do, I mean, but.
I
What's your
want things for
suggestion?
the children. Also, Lori, $3,000, it is capable of doing now with us having the 4th of July funds coming out of the Westchester funds. I'm aware of the Westchester building needing a new roof. The funds are capable of doing this at this time. I mean, I just was wondering.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
great.
they're in good shape.
So, I mean, I don't mind just getting the 6 movies, though we have a year to do this, so if we can only do 1 in this, and see how we go, and we can go ahead and get this license for 6 and just spread it out. I mean, is that a year, for a year, if we get 6 of the movies?
Well, we have to specify what dates we're actually having these movies and how many people we have. I have it designated to have, they have the ranges from 1 to 200, 200 to 300, obviously we're at the lowest, which is 1 to 200. Do I expect 200 people there? That would be great, that would be ideal, I would love to see that. But probably about 50, 60 people will show up, maybe even 100, which would be great.
I hope everybody shows up, that would be great. Our first movie, we had
But
about
this-
50 people.
This is just allocating the money. If we end up not doing it, then it's fine, we don't spend the money. But at least we allocated the money so we can get those movie licensings now. And then by doing such, once we lock those in and we find out that Finding Nemo is $465, I can go to Buffalo Wild Wings and ask for that 1 sponsorship. If I find out that, Finding Nemo 2 is like $200, I can go to that business owner and ask for $200, but we need to find out what those fees are first. And I prefer to go to a business and say, hey, I want $200 instead of $500.
I was just worried about it being in the summer and the timing, and
I don't know
getting
when else you want to have
6.
movie nights. I mean,
I
we
know.
approved it last year.
We did it in, we did it the one September, we had 50, and then the other one, we had about 10 people.
It was pretty horrible weather.
But we put it inside. No, I'm gonna say yes, I mean, go ahead. Motion, so we'll go motion to approve the purchase of 6 movie license for Austintown Summer Movie Night totaling no more than $3,000 to be paid from the Westchester Fund.
Well, we already laid it on the table, we just need to vote now.
We're in vote.
Mrs. Devers?
Yes.
Mr. Stanton?
Yes.
Ohio Liquor Control Division, whether to request a hearing of notice to legislative authority, transaction of a permit to Canfield Properties LLC, west portion only, 114 Javits Court, Austintown Township, Ohio, 44515, permit number 1225387, permit class D2, D2X, D3, D3A, from Illido Incorporated, doing business as the Babylon West portion only, 114 Javits Court, Austintown Township, Austintown, Ohio, 44515.
So moved. We
Yeah,
need
I
to
hear-
put it on the table before we discuss it.
I would ask you not to make a motion until we discuss it. I would ask the board to request a hearing simply because a couple of factors. One, I'll say this publicly, Canfield Properties have a substantial investment over there and investments elsewhere in the township, and they've been here probably forever. And we're glad that they bought the property. The Babylon is finished. They lost their non-conforming locational designation due to the fact that they were closed for 2 consecutive years. And they did not challenge that, or at least the estate did not challenge that. And Canfield Properties acquired the building, I think, middle of December. I was actually up there when they were doing some demolition work, and one of the foremen for the property owner told me that they were going to gut it and obviously redevelop it. They weren't sure. Within zoning, liquor licenses may require hearings before the Board of Appeals, and no plans have been submitted to zoning for future development. And there's nothing wrong with that. They probably aren't sure what they want to do with it. Within the realm of liquor licenses, you can put them, and I'm not sure what the term is, in escrow, in storage and inventory, whereas you own the license, but it's inactive. I did reach out by email to Attorney McNally, who represents Canfield Properties, last week. I haven't gotten a response back. If they're transferring it just to put it in escrow inventory, whatever that term is, then we can come back and not request a hearing. But right now, not knowing what their future plans are, and, you know, with the zoning requirements where they may need a public hearing before the Board of Appeals, I would ask that you request a hearing. I also talked to Chief Gavalier, and he's here now, but he wasn't in agreement with me. He's also on the email.
Chief, we were just talking about the motion to, her liquor control license for the Babylon transfer. And Darren just explained it to us and just wants us to take a motion to request a hearing.
Yes.
Motion to request a hearing for the liquor license of the Babylon.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Sanchez?
Yes.
Mrs. Devers?
Yes.
And I apologize for going out of order the way you did. I just wasn't sure what motion you were
No,
making.
Chief, since you walked in, can you have something to say to us, Mr. Gavalier?
A couple of things. We had a series of stolen cars the last couple weeks, maybe 4 or 5 Kias and a Hyundai. And we're able to track them down. A group of juveniles out of Warren, they call the Kia gang. So we're able to made some arrests there. We have tied into 3 of the cars. We're trying to tie another 2. Also, Detective has advised me to let everybody know that they're taking a lot of reports on thefts from contractors not fulfilling their contract, taking money down from the people and not coming back to finish the jobs. And one of them is Gritty window and door. So if you're gonna call for windows and doors, I'm careful about calling that company. That's all I have.
So at this time, we can take public response. Anybody on camera would like to speak? At this time, we'll be taking anybody on camera that would like to come up and speak tonight.
Sure.
John Russo, 4314 Pembroke Road. I had come here about a year ago, maybe less than, and requested that we look into some type of a place to drop off our leaves in Austintown. And I know it's of no importance now, but it comes every year. And I don't know why we can't have a place. We have a lot of Austintown to take care of it. And someplace where instead of filling up the dump all the time with bags out on the curb, we can find a disposal place to put it. So
Thank you, check into it, thank you. Anybody else on camera? How about anybody off camera at this time? No? So at this time, we'll have remarks from Mr. Santos.
I was gonna cover everything, just hopefully everyone had the safe during the last snowstorm. I mean, I was a little disappointed because I had a nice little snow blower. It was still polished, waiting to use. Hopefully I didn't have to use it, but I'm glad everyone was safe. There's one thing I do want to say, something actually I'm not going to mention names, but I want to make it very clear that when you guys come up here and actually speak on the podium, I want to make sure you guys feel safe. You don't feel threatened by another individual. I understand there's a lot of conflicting opinions, and I do not want to hear any type of vulgarity that's towards another individual speaking up. Some of y'all come up here and talk and mention things I agree with. You guys actually bring things up that I definitely don't agree with. You guys can cuss at me and anyone up here all you want, but I don't want to hear any type of vulgarity brought towards another resident who is coming up here and actually speaking. It is hard. It is hard to come up here and speak. You're on camera in front of a lot of people. I know when I personally was learning how to talk, I know I'm not perfect right now, but I definitely would not be able to stand in front of you guys right now and talking when I was like 16, 17 years old. So for that, I want to apologize to the individual that was cussed at. I had actually quite a few phone calls, and I want you guys to know that was not one of our department heads at all. And if it was, I definitely would make sure they are taken care of and they are reprimanded appropriately, but they do not. It did not come from them. So to that resident, I definitely want to apologize. Again, I'm not mentioning names. I just want you guys to know I definitely am full-fledged advocate for you being safe up here and voicing your opinion without any type of retaliation. That's about all I have to say.
I want everybody to know that there's a benefit going on, the Fraternal Order of Eagles. This little boy is 10 years old. His name's Tyler, and he goes to our Austintown Elementary School. He suffered a double aneurysm and a stroke. This benefit is to help the medical cost. Tyler is improving, but he still suffers speech and physical disabilities. This requires lots of therapy, and he's going to need a lot of help and a lot of medical help. So this is just a 10-year-old little boy out of nowhere, got on a school bus and had an aneurysm. And I just would hope that Austintown can support him in any way they can. This benefit is going on at the Eagles, and I didn't write the date.
Sunday, February 26th.
Thank you. Can you tell us any more about it, Bob?
I do believe it's at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It's $10 a person, spaghetti dinner, and they're going to have the Chinese auction and everything. It's open to the public. The flyers are being passed around, and like it says, the aunts and everyone that is related to Tyler belong to the Eagles, and they're open for support of the club and of the community. So yeah, the bills are mounting up immensely, and we're just opening up our doors, and hopefully we have a great crowd that day, and they make a lot of money.
Thank you. Like I said, I just hope that Austintown can help support this little boy. With that being said, that's about it. So I'm doing a motion to recess to executive session for following on the agenda A and B.
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Seaver?
Yes.
Mr. Santos?
Yes.